So are you going to be just primarily playing center, or are you going to be playing forward as well?
I would prefer to play center just because I'm pretty good at face-offs. I had a pretty high percentage this year for my face-offs pretty much every game. So I think that's like a really consistent part of my game that I've kind of dialed in and gotten really good at. So I think that part of my game, I'll try to stay center, but if they need me to play winger or something like that, or even D, if they see me more as a D, I would not be opposed to moving around. Just whatever is going to be best for our team and also what's going to be best for me as well.
So this league is a little bit different than like a traditional league. You don't play like 30 different teams or whatever. You're playing in your division only for the majority of the time, 6 teams. I don't know how that is. I feel like if I was you, I would be getting bored of playing the same team all year, like 45 games on the season or 47 games of the season. Because from high school you played a bunch of different teams.
Yeah.
So like they're going to know you better.
Yeah.
So how has that changed your preparation, knowing that you're going to be playing the same teams on a consistent basis?
I don't really think that changes my whole preparation or anything. And I think I kind of like how how we can play the same 6 teams over and over again, because I think it builds like a little bit of a rivalry. You kind of know what's expected during the game. You know what certain people can do and everything. I kind of like having that, like, I guess, a little bit of fear. Like, these guys are coming out, they don't like us because of maybe something we did earlier on in the season. I kind of like having that in the back of my mind. You play a little, you get nervous at the start of the game, and then you kind of get into it, and then you're right in there with them. So I think playing the same teams over and over again will be, I don't think it'll get boring. I think it'll be more and more fun every time, just because you're seeing the same guys over and over again, and you're building that little bit of a rivalry, and I think that adds something to everybody's game.
And your first game is against Long Beach State Sharks. You got to drive through Manhattan, New York to get there. It's in Oyster Bay, New York. What are your expectations for that match and just to start your overall season?
I think it'll be good. I think, sure, it's a long drive, and that'll be definitely a part of our first game with them. It'll be tough getting off the bus and playing like immediately after that. That's always hard because it's a long bus ride. But also, I don't really have to. I won't really change my mindset about anything. But I also think it'll be a little bit harder just because it's the first game you have with all your new teammates. You've been training with each other. We'll have a month of training camp with each other. We'll be starting to get to know each other. I think hopefully we can all make it click on that game and start our season off really hot.
When do you report to training camp?
I have to be there August 19th, and then I'm pretty sure our game's September or something.
So what's your expectations for training camp?
I think it's going to be long days and like hard practices, a lot of conditioning. So it's going to be really tough getting into the back end of the season conditioning and season body, because it's very different. Like off season, you're more working on your skills and everything, and you're getting all those dialed in. But then once you get to your team, you have to be ready to play 60 minutes, which is a long time. So I think just getting to training camp, it's going to be it's going to be a grind for that 1 month that we're in training camp, but it just makes, if you put in all the effort there and you really succeed in that area of the training camp with just bonding with each other, but also putting in a bunch of work so that you're prepared for the rest of the season. Because if you don't have a good training camp, the rest of your season kind of falls off with it. But if you have a good peak at the training camp, then your peak can just rise with the season instead of slowly falling off or staying stagnant.
What would it mean to you to win the Fraser Cup championship tournament? That's what you get if you win in the playoffs in this league. What would that mean to you?
I think at the moment it would mean a lot. Like, that's a big deal. Like being the best team out of the whole league, like
34 teams.
That would be great. But I think if you asked me that a couple months down the road, once I'm around all my teammates and everybody, and we're kind of more of a family, I think that makes that winning the final of the cup just so much more like special to everybody. So I think it's a very different response from now than if you asked me a couple more months ago or a couple more months down the road. But that'd be really fun. That'd be super sick.
Have you talked to some of your teammates already and coaches?
I've talked to my coaches, but I've not gotten in contact with any of my teammates. No.
So how's the relationship with your coaches? What do they see in you that made them want to sign you?
I'm not really sure what they see in me. I don't really ask those kind of questions to my coaches, but I would assume it's just because I think I'm a good all-way 200-foot player. I can play anywhere on the ice. I can play defense in our D zone. I can play penalty kill. I can play power play. I can really do anything. So I think as a coach perspective, looking at a player and seeing that he can do pretty much anything you ask him to, that's like, I'm not really a question on if you want to sign him or not. Like, if they can do everything, like, why would you ask for any more?
Talk to me, baby. Talk to me nice. I'm from another world, baby, yeah. Broadway paradise. They think I'm way too cold, cause I put my heart up on ice.